Claudia, I want to ask, how ready are you to defeat Chaos?
Fuck Chaos! Fuck that guy! I'm gonna kick his ass and take his wallet. I'm so fucking ready.
Are you gonna kill Chaos?
I'm gonna punch him in the teeth and in the dick, maybe at the same time.
So, I don't know if you even know what I'm referring to, but I'm referring to Strangers of Paradise, which is that new Final Fantasy game that Nomura had a hand in, and the writer is like, apparently it's the dude who worked on Advent Children and Final Fantasy 13 and 15. So, you know, a stellar repertoire of writing there. And so I played that 2 hours yesterday. You get it early if you pre-order it. I played that 2 hours yesterday. In those 2 hours, and I'm tallying it up. Like for the viewers at home, I got a tally card here. Ooh. We tallied up 20 mentions of Chaos in those 2 hours.
At least we know who the fuck we're fighting.
So that's the thing. We don't.
Oh.
So again, only 2 hours. A lot is yet to be explained. But literally everything that you know is there's a dude. He's called Chaos, and the intro is him fucking people up as he's stealing your girl. That's all you know. Who he is in relation to Jack, you don't. Who is the protagonist? You don't know. Who he is in relation to the two dudes that are hanging out with you, you don't know. And there's this whole thing of, the prophecy says that when the world is covered in darkness, 4 warriors of light are gonna like come out and fix shit. And like everything that you've seen thus far are people living their best life. The sun is out. People are not having any issues whatsoever. The only time that you actually see a fucking like enemy is like when you go to this one location and now there's monsters that you have to defeat. So like what darkness, like what the fuck? And also we like it is that early on, less than 2 hours in, you do get the bullshit, like the bullshit.
Good.
And it is. I want to make it blatantly clear, it is not edited. It is not like changed in any of the edits that you've seen on the on Twitter. That is how it is, and with the context of everything, it is even worse. This game is a fucking travesty, and I can't wait to play more.
Honestly, this is everything I always wanted to hear out of you. Okay. I'm going to preface this.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is a series that I don't have the most love for. It's not really because I hate it, it's because I literally have so little experience with it. I've only played 3 Final Fantasy titles in my entire life. And that's Final Fantasy 13. I played Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance, and I played Final Fantasy 1. That's all the experience I fucking had. And the way you're explaining what's going on, surprisingly, I started feeling very nostalgic because this sounds like it's like this weird retelling of fucking Final Fantasy 1.
Well, that's what it's supposed to. It's called Final Fantasy Origin. Strangers of Paradise. So it's apparently a retelling of Final Fantasy 1.
Reimagining, probably. Retelling, like, okay, I can definitely tell where the fucking where they're going, because you're explaining this to me, and I'm like, this sounds like I'm playing the NES again, and I'm like going off into the kingdom. I'm going off to fight what's his face Garland for kidnapping the princess for no fucking reason. But now that he sounds like, oh, we're actually giving personalities to these fuckers. I don't have to imagine it. Okay.
Oh, like, no. No. I need to stress, there is no fucking personality.
Oh, even better. Even better than you can. I wanna point this out there. When I said punch him in the dick and in the teeth, and maybe at the same time, I was not exaggerating, because the original sprite for Chaos is just this big, bulky guy, yellow guy with wings, but he has a dragon coming out of his dick.
Sick.
So I want them to keep that design in this fucking game. If you go to the end of the game and you go back in time to do oh, by the way, there's going to be a time loop at the end of this game. Don't worry about it.
What?
Spoilers for like a 30-year-old game.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, sorry, 40. This shit came out in the 80s. Damn. But fucking bro. You're gonna have a awful time.
There's been a remarkably huge amount of Final Fantasy games for a game that is called Final. But I pre-ordered the game because I was like, this is either gonna be super fucking great and a big surprise, or it's gonna be the worst fucking thing imaginable, and I'm gonna have fun with how shitty it is. And I'm right now. It feels like we're leaning towards option 2. But there is one thing, and that is, so I got it on the PS4 because I'm not an insane person that has a PS5, even though I want one. But when you start it up, you have to pick between like, do you want to put all the juice in making the game look pretty but at a bad frame rate, or do you want like a smooth frame rate but a shitty looking image? I put it on performance, as in I want it to be smooth. I think the game is still running at 18 frames per second. I don't know what this game is gonna be like next time I boot it up, where I'm trying to put it on nice image, because my god, is this game running like this is the least optimized game I've ever seen. It is fucking amazing.
Ooh. I'm gonna try out. I wanna give it a shot because I haven't tried anything too graphic intensive on my computer yet. So I'm up to the challenge. I want to see if this fucking thing I spent a leg over it can run this shitty game.
I mean, it's not out on PC, and apparently it's gonna come out on PC at a later date. So you won't be able to do that just yet.
Just what I wanted.
Yeah, just what you wanted. But you can play Elden Ring.
I could play Elden Ring. I could play an actual good game. Actually, I need to ask, because I haven't played obviously because I've got some things going on. But like, how are the punching weapons in Elden Ring? Because I've mentioned this in the Wild West. I do not care about the story about any of the Dark Souls games. I only care if I can fist a kingdom to death, and that's what Dark Souls 2 was able to give me, and Dark Souls 3 denied me. Can you punch in this game, and is it effective?
I don't know. Like, surprising even me, as you mentioned it, I never tried a punching weapon. I just went with it's no secret that Hidetaka Miyazaki, the creator of these games, is a huge fan of Berserk.
He's got a fucking boner for that series. I noticed I saw the greatsword. It's literally just fucking Guts' greatsword from the Golden Age.
Yeah, and so I wanted to put one out for one of the greats. So I made a Guts build to play it through my first time. And where I used that sword.
I heard that the fucking armor is in that game.
I haven't seen that armor.
It's somewhere in there.
But there is there's several locations in the game where you can it's a memorial kind of thing, where you can go up and you can look at the memorial, and it will give you some cryptic text about the area or whoever resides in that area. And those memorials are literally just the sword graveyard in Berserk. And it's this person really brought out this is a love letter to Berserk, as are all the other Souls games, and I'm here for it.
That actually sounds really goddamn nice. And actually, you know what? Like, I need to play like a good game. Like, okay, I've been going back and forth just because like I've been just catching up on like a lot of like my backlog of old games I've never touched. At the moment, I'm kind of like jumping between Boktai. I'm trying to replay all of Boktai again. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel just because like I'm going through my nostalgia, and I'm playing. Trying to go through the Breath of Fire series too. So it's good. Yeah, actually, I got like the first two on the SNES on that Nintendo service thing that I didn't realize I was paying for a long time ago. But also, my friend actually bought a lot of her. She collected a bunch of old PlayStation and PlayStation 2 games, and she sold them to me in a lot for like $50. So I've got like Breath of Fire 4, and I played that for like 5 minutes, and those are like the most beautiful sprites I've ever seen in like almost any game, and that's impressive to me.
I do hear that the Breath of Fire is fucking amazing.
It's chef kiss beautiful, and I love it, and I can't wait to go through it. Also, I finally got a version of Persona 3 I can play. So hey, it's for the it's for the PS2. I forget what it's called, but it's Persona 3. I can finally play it now without like all this hacking bullshit I've been going through. But on top of that, once I get through those games, I do want to give it a try to Elden Ring because it does look really goddamn cool. And I've heard there's punching weapons, so I'm a punching nigga.
There are about like I counted it. There are over 200 weapons in my inventory alone. And it's not like, oh, you get this sword and then you get like the exact same sword but with better stats. No, every weapon is like a unique weapon. So I there's definitely like if with so many weapons there has to be like a punching weapon is basically what I'm trying to get at.
I talked to Bonsai about this actually, and he's the way he sold the game to me. He's like, okay, so you do not have the bone fist, so you're not gonna be open world teching where you can't just be Heihachi and murder everybody who stomps. But what you can do is apparently there's this thing called the unblockable sword, and it requires dexterity and faith. And what it is, like you write a cipher all over your body, and as you're like punching things, a glowing magical sword appears in your hands and goes through people's like blocks and shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm a fist of kingdom to death today. I can't wait.
There is I remember when interviewing people about Elden Ring, they were like, we're going to try and take everything that we know from past experiences with with Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all this stuff and try and make the best game that we can make. And that comment doesn't do it like what they have done justice, in that yes, they're trying to, do the best that they can. Sure, that's fine. But what they failed to mention is that we're just gonna take your favorite bits from these different games and put it in here. Because now we got a big open world, so you can get fucking everything.
It's like, I've heard a theory like a long time ago that like Elden Ring was going to be the culmination of all the Souls games when it was coming out. And it sounds like they kept their fucking promise. Honestly, it only makes the discourse surrounding the game all that more satisfying because people are salty. It's so goddamn good. And I'm just like, seethe. Yes. Like, recognize its greatness.
What you're referring to there is obviously that the Ubisoft and Guerrilla, some developers from those companies came out and was like, fuck this game. And EA, and that one's funny. But like they came out and were like, oh fuck this game. It's like the UI is so ass and it's like that is just like I am amazed that they are doing this, because fucking why? Like, because they're always sucking each other off when another Western game comes out. Like, oh, like let me make fan art for my Western brothers, and then like this humble Nippon video game comes out and like, fuck that, fuck this UI, fuck this, and then you have like and especially the fucking dude from EA comes out and like, oh, the user experience in the menus of Elden Ring is so fucking trash. And then like people looked at his profile and was like, oh, you're the dude who worked on Battlefield 2148 or whatever it's number.
Is this you?
Yeah, is this you? And they showed a menu, and it's so fucking fun because there is on, there's off, and then there's highlight. One is blue, the other is black, and one is turquoise green. Which one is the marked one? Which one is on? Which one is off? You cannot fucking tell. And like that is 10 times worse than the fact that if you want the map on Elden Ring and you press select, and then you press select again because you think it'll take you out of the map, it opens a menu. That is bad UX. But it's not you having to fucking try and roll the dice whether or not an option is on or not.
You know what would make, like... So, I hear all these complaints about the UI, but I'm like, The Legend of Zelda did, like, the same fucking thing a long ass time ago. And what they did was, like, they gave you, like, a map with the game for you to, like, put stickers on and, like, fucking write on. And I'm like... I'll just do that with Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Just fuck the select button. I'll remap it to something else. I'll mod it so I get my fucking bone fist in there one way or the other. I want to be Heihachi, goddammit. But like fucking for them to harp on such a tiny thing and to be so consistent with it shows like this whole like toxicity in like that whole thing, that they're jealous. They're salty that this one game is gonna be fucking great. Maybe it shows that like there's a lot of developers with whose egos are way more outweigh their fucking talent.
Yeah.
Again, you know, methinks the bitch doth protest too much. Yeah. I was gonna say that more eloquently, but that came out so jazzed.
Fuck him. The weird thing to me is that there are legit things in Elden Ring that you can actually like raise valid criticism over.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Well, I know like my main issue with the game, it has to do with the story, and you can only really like. It's the same thing with every Soulspawn game, is that you can only really 100% have an opinion on that once you have beaten the game. Which we're probably going to get into a little later. But I think that the reason why they can't bring up that complaint is because these people are bitch made and they can't get through the game. And so... like, oh, no, fuck, I guess I gotta complain about something else. Oh, the map is shit.
Yeah.
The map is actually... I'm gonna go on a tangent. The map in Elden Ring is actually fucking fantastic. And I'll tell you why, because I can tell that you're dying to know about the intricate small little details of this video game. Mm-hmm. But, it wants you to do the same thing as Breath of the Wild. In fact, the Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring comparison is not like just for poops and giggles. They are incredibly alike. And one of the things that is the most alike is the fact that you are just gonna get placed here on the map and good luck. Like you have an idea of where to go, but ultimately, fuck that. You have no quest markers or objectives or anything. You just put there, have fun. Now, and half of the fun with these kinds of games then comes from the idea of exploring. You go out and you let your interest and your intrigue, you let that like kind of take over. And so, like, oh, what's that over there? And then you go over there. And I think that Elden Ring is better than Zelda in this one regard, because in Zelda, when you open your map, you can tell, oh, I'm at the far southern part of the map. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have like a reference, meaning that, oh, if I then continue to go south, I'm either going to hit a ledge or an invisible wall or something, and I cannot progress any further in this direction. All right. But what Elden Ring does so fucking interestingly is that the map you have at your disposal at all times, the further away the further you move, the more the camera on this map zooms out. Meaning that your most northern part when you start the game is maybe like a tenth of how much north you can go. And the more north you go, the more of the map like expands. So like you never know how much of the map you have actually explored, making the whole part of exploring the map so much more interesting, because you have no frame of reference. You might go, oh, I guess this wall here, it means that there's nothing more to the west of here. And then you suddenly at one point find a hole in the wall and you find out, oh wait, I was in the middle of the map this entire time.
So okay, so that definitely does something with the verisimilitude of the game. That's like, I don't know, I'm not sure if that word's used correctly, but that's one I can come up with. It definitely gives you that fucking feel of exploration. And I will admit, like when it came to Breath of the Wild, like the map definitely like hampered that, because it decided to like gamify the features so it'll hold your hand. And that is a feature that is like, standard with games nowadays. It didn't used to always be. And now like Elden Ring kind of like by removing that feature and like it kind of makes you take a step back and look at games where you didn't have that kind of map, where you just had to like literally just explore. I don't think it's like a revolutionary idea, but I do think that it's because a lot of us, especially nowadays, are so accustomed to being told where to go, where's the marker. Removing that feels like such an alien experience.
Yeah. So
I do think that if you didn't have all these other fucking games that did it, contrasting it, like the whole complaining about not having a map would be more valid of a excuse. But I do think it does work to the game's strength from what you're talking about. It does actually just make you feel like you're exploring. So I don't think one is better than the other. I do think that this is very effective.
Yeah, like I mentioned the Elden Ring versus Zelda in like other conversations before amongst other friends, and I think that when it comes to like stuff like this exploration thing that I just talked about, I don't think it's necessarily a fair comparison to then go, oh, but the Elden Ring one is better, even though it may have sounded like I just did that, but it is more the fact that it feels better to me, but that does not mean what Zelda is doing is bad, because Zelda is targeted to a broader audience, typically a more younger crowd, more casual crowd, typically. Want to underline that word a lot, because sometimes people get angry. It is typically targeted to a more casual audience, so you need a little more hand-holding, and then there's nothing wrong with that. But with Elden Ring, it's like it's
fresh. It is like something you haven't had in a long fucking time, and it's just it's a very nice flavor, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and it's also for a more rough-necked crowd, some would say, and I would be inclined to agree sometimes, a more try-hard crowd demographic, where it's like, oh yeah, you might have beaten the game, but you're fucking bitch, mate. Did you do it without getting hit once or using only your fist in your underwear, blindfolded while on fire? I think not. Well, I did. There's a run on it. I speed ran it. My time is 2 hours and 32 minutes. Get on my level, bitch. And you're like, but I just like, yeah.
But no, like, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
But just like the little horsey.
On horse. You know, I saw pictures of it and I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool. I love the way, I saw like a clip where you're like running, you jump up, you put your hand down in midair, the horse appears, and you jump on the horse. And that's like the most anime fucking sequence I've ever seen, and I want to do that all the time.
Oh, dude, you can fucking, like, that is cool as shit. But what is even cooler is that if you dismount while riding, your character will hop off the mount and it will like disappear, and it will register this as you now being airborne, and you can do a jumping attack.
Oh my, okay. So I love it, and I love that they thought about that, and I love that it's just so creative, fun, and oh my god, I can just imagine all the exploitable bullshit you can use with that. Because, okay, the thing I love about speedrunning between Zelda and Dark Souls, it's goddamn loony the shit you can do if you really want to break the game. And that's the way I kind of want to approach these games. Because I'll be honest, when you have something that's a challenge in front of you, I don't just want to break it. I want to fucking do it in as ridiculous manner as possible. I have done a run where I fought a boss in my underwear with just my fists, and it's kind of exhilarating.
Oh, I can imagine.
Just going back to Breath of the Wild, like my favorite thing in that game is like they added a shield mechanic where you can like jump on it and slide on it like a surfboard.
Yes.
But aside from that being cool on its own, the actual like physics for that is so busted, where if you like angle something when you hit it, when you jump on your shield and bounce off an enemy, you can get insane fucking height and speed to the point where you can just go flying across the map in real time, like faster than the draw engine can like keep up. And that's the kind of shit I love. And then there's Dark Souls, where I fucking love watching Yamfa.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yamfa. Is it not with a Y? I don't know. Oh.
No, it is with a Y. It's YMFAH.
Yeah.
Umfa.
He's fucking
one
great.
is like I think it was like his Dark Souls 2 run where he doesn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Just all the dumb shit he does to get around it. Oh, it's shit like that makes me happy, man. Shit like that makes me happy. I want to, and I know you give it enough time, people are gonna like use the horse in Elden Ring and break it wide open, and I can't fucking wait.
There's a small correction in the chat. Apparently, it's a cow.
Even better.
Yeah, I fucking love cows. But I'm still gonna refer to it as a horse because that's more natural. But a thing that I was not ready for with Elden Ring, and this has apparently turned into the Elden Ring podcast, is that there is not an insignificant amount of horseback combat, to the point where multiple bosses I fought was on horseback.
We gave you this fucking cow, you're going to use this fucking cow.
Yeah. See, that's exactly why I'm like calling it horseback, because cowback just sounds dirty.
The Cowback podcast.
But
no, we're not using that.
No, we're not. But it's super fucking cool to fight on your cow. And sometimes you can even like fucking cheese out the fucking game, because you are essentially able to move really fast while doing your heavy attack. So So when you're like me and you're like role playing as Guts with your big fucking Zweihander, gross ass huge sword, then you come at max speed past a young innocent zombie dude, and you just uppercut him with this huge hunk of metal, and you send him flying into the fucking stars like it was fucking anime. You feel a little bad, but only just a little.
You know, considering you talked about a whole bunch of horseback, I'm still gonna find a way to punch through that. I'm gonna be on my cow friend, and I'm gonna like ride up to this whatever fucking wyvern tree bastard, and I'm still gonna fucking punch him while riding on the cow. I don't give a shit. Taste my fist.
Can you imagine a cowback drive-by uppercut?
Oh.
Like with the speed of the fucking cow, and some dude just looks in your general direction and he just gets fucking clotheslined.
Oh, I just imagine. Oh, I just had like the most anime fucking moment where you're like you're like riding down on horseback and like you're trying to chase down a guy, but then like he looks behind and there's like this man holding out his fist, and then he just BAM! Right across the jaw, and then like Japanese letters that spell out the kanji for something dumb like Bull Rush.
Yeah. Shoryomooken.
Shoryomooken.
That's the podcast name.
That's the podcast name. Oh, okay. You know what? When I do get to Elden Ring and I do my all punchies playthrough, I'm gonna let you know the bullshit I accomplished. So, hey, Cloudy, do you play Elden Ring yet? I plan to. I haven't played it yet.
No, because you have, and you have been busy, haven't you?
I've been attempting to get busy because I have been having issues with my job. It's gonna be less me complaining, but it's more like I'm gonna tell this to all my friends out there who feel like they're being taken advantage of. Don't take it, cause like. I got the final straw today to the point where I ended up having to call my agency. I got a message from my new manager, and they're talking about, oh, hey everybody, we want to prioritize jobs for our full-time employees because they have more capacity. And I'm like, you've been doing that, but why are you emphasizing that now? You told me not to take certain jobs back in January. That's how I barely got to work a whole 20 hours the whole month. And now I'm like looking at these things. They're weighing things in such a bullshit way. Like, I'm assigned 16 tasks, but like that's only because I already finished them from last week and they're not completed. And the only reason they're not completed is because they haven't gone through quality assurance yet. And I don't have any say in when that gets done. So when that gets done, I have to wait for all these people. But because I'm still waiting, I can't get any more work. So now I'm in this position where I'm like, so now you're just going to flat out say, like, while I go up to these stand-up meetings every day, I have to just sit there, stay quiet, and watch while everyone else grabs work before me because I'm full. Okay. No, I'm done. So I ended up calling my agency. And I told them my situation, and I'd be like, hey, bro, I put up with a lot, but I'm like, am I gonna be able to eat today? Are we going to have an issue? Cause I'm under contract. They have to be breaking something with this, otherwise, why the hell am I still here if they don't need me and I'm not getting paid? So literally, not even 15 minutes. I get a call talking about, I'm going to be set up for an interview this week for another job. I'm going to be, if I get it, hopefully, I'm going to be getting paid more. I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be doing things that actually has to do with my fucking like computer science degree. So, cool. Fucking, if you aren't happy, do your best not to take it. Because I've had to sit with this. Like, I've had to, like, take a whole month of, like, not working while everyone else got to work, and it sucked. And I'm like, maybe it'll get better, but sometimes you gotta be able to step up and say, yo, I'm not gonna do this for you. Fuck off. Eat my peen.
Eat my peen.
Eat my peen. But like I haven't really gotten a lot of games or played a lot lately, just because I've been just trying to like suck out as much work as I can possible. Like, part of the reason I'm doing the podcast right now is because I don't have any fucking work. I have like I have like one job left to do that's due today, and then one thing that's due Friday, and then so that gives me like 8 hours of fucking nothing. So I'm just gonna do this podcast, go to work, and then leave.
Yeah,
I suggest you eat one peens, good sir. To do in a more formal matter. I'd like to buy one of your finest weeds, please.
Yeah, one weed, please. No, but on the real, I'm proud of you for like fucking standing up for yourself, because you're absolutely correct that if you feel like you're not in a place where you want to be, fucking do something about it.
Yeah.
To the peen eater it may concern, as per my last email wherein you were invited to eat one's peen.
You ought to include more peen in your diet, good sir. Oh, I love this.
Well, I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for you, bro.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm like, partially this got inspired by you, because like you've been through this shit, and I'm like, I felt bad because I've definitely been there where it felt like everything just crashing down on you, and you don't have any say. You just gotta take it. And honestly, there are times where you can just say you just gotta take it, but like that's not all the time. That's not your only option.
No, exactly.
You just gotta, like if you can do something about it, there's always better opportunities, especially if you're sitting there and you're seeing other people get by. That can be you too. I'm not saying like every opportunity you have is a miracle or everything is gonna be fucking like rosy peachy keen, because everything has risks. This thing might fall apart. I might get rejected because I'm still on a contract until May. But like, you still gotta try, man.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Exactly. The worst thing that can happen, you just stay in your same place.
Yeah.
If I get fired because they find out I want to get another job, good, fuck them. They don't need me, I don't need them. I mean, I kind of need them, but I also saved up money, so.
Yeah, fuck them.
Also, yeah, fuck them. Genuinely fuck them. Like throwing shit and you need fertilizer for your weed.
Yeah. I remember when I worked at a nondescript video game retailer, and I was given the letter. Well, I think I've told the story on the podcast before about like how when I initially applied to become a design technologist, I actually didn't even know what it was, but I was in a rough part of my life with the video game retailer, to the point where I was being I might as well just call what it is. I was being suicidal. And so I like something had to give, and I knew, and through therapy and everything, I knew exactly what the root of all this was, and that was like the job. So my stepmom had told me, hey, go and like I've seen some of the stuff that you do, maybe try and check out this thing. And then I was like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, let's try and apply. What's the worst thing that can happen? And then they and then they sent me like a test that you had to pass before you were accepted. And then I did that, and then I got accepted, and then it was like, okay, you have like, you're starting in the month. And I had like a month of like a resignation period of my job. So I suddenly had to decide in like 2 days or something whether or not I was actually going to pursue this education thing that I did. And I'm glad, because all the hardships notwithstanding, I'm still much happier to be here than I was when I was back there. And today I got paid for walking over to a client that I had to take photos of while walking through past fields where cows were that I could get to pet. So like you know what? I'm 10 times happier that I am here because I did something about the thing that made me miserable.
It's definitely one of those things where there's you can I to a point I'm a little like happy that I've gone through certain amounts of like misery I couldn't control, because it gives you perspective. Because when you've been in a situation that you genuinely hate for a long time and you're miserable, but you become accustomed to it, but when a better opportunity rolls around and you take that brave step to go forward, you can look back at all the shit that's been wrong and you can be like, you know what? I'm in a way better position I am now than I was back then.
Yeah.
I would rather have the regret of doing something and finding out it sucks later than to stay in one place the whole fucking time and be miserable, but always think it's that's only it for me.
Yeah, and think what could have been.
Exactly. It's better to just shoot your shot, you know?
Yeah, obviously it's easier said than done. It's not just, oh yeah, fuck it, just gonna throw all my financial stability out of the window and go pursue this thing. No, but at least consider it more than not at all.
Yeah, like bottom line, I'm going to say just what I'm trying to say. There's going to be times where you just imagine that this is all there is for you. That if you stay in a miserable situation and you stay there by choice, know that you do have a chance to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
If something isn't going your way, it sounds so easy to say, and even if you're going through a lot of shit, find something that within your means that'll work that's better, because you deserve better. Don't settle for being miserable because someone else is telling you to. Like, make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's gotta come from you. No matter how many times you see somebody who's in a rough situation, you can't just tell them, stop being depressed, stupid, because that never fucking works. Like,
stop being upset.
Yeah. Stop crying, loser. No.
Yeah.
Just, like, sometimes it does gotta come from you, and you gotta, like, want to improve it for yourself. Stop being poor.
What are you, some kind of poor person? Fuck off.
Oh, God. Oh, wait, hold on. That stop being poor just reminded me of a thing, but go on with your point.
No, I didn't have a point. I just kind of wanted to, like, tie it all up in a nice little bow. Yeah. So did you feel cool up? But yeah, like, again, I hope that, like, do you have any idea when you will find out, like, whether or not you got the job?
I'm gonna be staying in contact with my current agency at the moment for a while. So it'll possibly be either a week to a month to figure out if I'm gonna when this interview is gonna go live. But we'll see. Well, the main issue is that, like, I'm currently under contract with this current place, and I can't leave until either somebody breaks the contract on their side, and again, if I have to stay here until May, that's fine, because I'm still getting paid either way. I'm just gonna fucking just flat out cheat the system because they fucking cheated me.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say another thing. Sorry, do you feel called out? No. But yeah, no, like, when I'll give you updates on where that happens, because I hope I get it. Because again, like, on top of everything, it's also a pay raise, because, like, I'm getting paid $21 an hour at the moment, and working at this new place will be $25, which honestly is good for me, because that was, like, the starting pay that I was offered, like, a year ago when I was working at this engineering company, and they said, "Oh, well, we'll give you $25 an hour, but you have to go back to college and work in a degree you have nothing to do for 4 years. Are you going to pay for the college? No."
Lamau, no.
No. So I'm like, hey, guess what? We can give you this $25 an hour, and you can work from home 100%. And then I'm like, yo, that's pretty tight. I'll do that instead of going back to college and wasting all my time and money. Ah, man. But yeah, so look for opportunities, make yourself happy, like recognize that you don't have to be miserable.
Yeah.
That's the thing I want to say most of all.
Eloquently.
Eloquently. Thank you. That's been the majority of my week. It's just being so fed up with this bullshit that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
And the bullshit is not even blazing. What the fuck?
Oh, you know what? I'm a blaze this bullshit myself.
To the smell of the game. I don't fucking know.
I need to. I forget. Is Guilty Gear Strive, is that on fucking PS4 or is it only PS5?
Oh, it's on PS4.
Okay.
I've been playing it.
Okay. Listen, I have been so out of the gaming sphere. Like I'm just slowly starting to catch up because my life is slowly coming in order. I need to see if my fight stick works with my PS4. It worked a little, kind of, with Street Fighter V, but maybe it's just because like my thing is old that I need to get myself a new one.
Maybe check out whether or not it works on your PC and then get it for your PC. You got a fucking sweet rig now, and you can then mod just Guilty Gear Strive.
It's for PC? Shit.
You can turn Kaikisuke into fucking Shaggy.
I'm gonna make Baiken's boobs even bigger just to piss people off.
That mod was out half an hour after she was released.
Do you think there's a fucking variable in her model that's just for boob size, and they left that in there intentionally for people to find?
Okay. We're gonna get super fucking specific here. So, there is Kai's son, Sin. Mm-hmm. He's not in Guilty Gear Strive, but someone has modded him in, complete with a unique model and a unique moveset. But apparently, his moves all look like different things, but they're using the exact same hitbox as Kai. So it's technically just like a visual mod on Kai, but it's with Sin instead. It is insane how well that if you told me that Sin was in the game now, I would fucking believe you. The modding community for Strive are fucking nuts. And I don't know whether or not it's because Arc System Works or whatever actually made it so that it is easy to mod. Maybe there was a boob slider, because like the stuff that the modding community has done with Guilty Gear Strive is absolutely insane.
Like, I'm trying to remember like the comparison I was going to make, and I remembered. It's they either made it super easy, or I don't know if you remember the game. Was it like it was that like one like a that Shonen Jump video game
where Jump Force.
They released it. Yeah, Jump Force. They released it on PC, and they didn't realize it at that day one. They not only released the game, but inside the files of the game, they left in the source code for it, and that made like modding it so easy. And I'm like, maybe they did it intentionally, but no one's announcing that they had the source code for it, so that it doesn't get taken down like they did with Jump Force. Because if that's the case, I just want to fucking know. Modding makes if you ever want a community to keep a game alive for years, like give it to the modders, make them happy. That is literally how Bethesda got away with so fucking much.
I was just about to say, you cannot convince me a day in your life that any of the Bethesda games would be as popular as they are now, if not for the modding community. Because in my humble opinion, those are perfectly fine games, but not fucking the 10 out of 10s that people have made them. And I think that half of the reason for that is just because you can mod them to hell and back.
Mm-hmm. They are so broken. People took the pieces of the game and made something better with it, and that's what
absolutely. I have sent you a link real quick. This is not visual anything. Check that out, and can you tell me which one of those characters has been modded in? Cause I fucking can't.
Ooh, that's impressive,
right?
Like, they got the. Like, I'm trying to say maybe it's the lighting, but I'm like, no, it's still kind of dynamic. Shit.
It is amazing. I am dumbfounded.
Oh my god, I kind of want to play as Sin Kiske now.
He's so cool though.
He's so fucking cool. Like, what the fuck is this community? I'm gonna get this game.
What weapon should we give this man? A staff? Nah. A spear? Nah. But it has to be like a pole weapon. Give him a flag. I don't know why, but the idea that it's a flag makes it 10 times cooler.
You know, it's whenever you take household item that shouldn't be weapon, but make it really cool weapon. I love that fucking trope.
Which fucking reminds me, Persona 4 Ultimax is coming out tomorrow, where I can play as Kanji and beat the fucking shit out of people with a fucking folding chair.
Yeah. And here he is with the fucking chair! Oh. You know
I have promised myself I will wait to buy it until summer, because then they are going to implement rollback, but I am a sucker for just like labbing combos, and I could really do with that.
You know, I left my fight stick in my mom's house, so probably not this week at the moment, because my uncle has the keys to my house. So when he leaves, I'm gonna drive back to my mom's place, get my shit, come back, and maybe buy a fighting game because I want it. I looked at the sprites for Ultimax, and I'm like, these are really fucking pretty. I want to play this.
I mean, like, you're not actually just like, if you buy Strive, remember, you're not buying a fighting game. You're buying a music album that happens to have a fighting game attached to it.
I know, and it's great.
I have played a ton of Strive, and I'm not even kidding or exaggerating when I say I legit believe that I have listened more to the music than I have played the game. It is so fucking good.
It's one of those fucking things where, like, you can definitely tell the only reason this universe exists is because the guy was like, no, my music's so fucking cool, I'm making it about my fucking OCs, and you're gonna listen to this music, and the games are gonna make the music make even better.
And now we're putting lyrics in so I can tell you how this person feels.
Oh. I'm watching this on loop, and it's just so fucking pretty.
Like, I've never actually the amount of stuff that I know about Guilty Gear lore is actually rather minuscule, and I had never seen Anji before Strive, but listening to his song Black Rock Parade, I think it's just Rock Parade, I know everything I need to know about him now, and like, I am fucking impressed by, like, oh, the song sounds awesome, the song works for a fighting game, and it tells me everything that I need to know about the character. Fucking stellar sure, it's English as shit.
Who gives a fuck? It's still good, though!
But that somehow just makes it better.
Fuck, what was it, like, I think... I was like walking in the street like one day when you like showed me, I think it was the Japanese version of Kiske's theme, and we had this conversation where like there's like regional differences.
No, the Korean version of Kiske's theme.
Korean version, yeah, the Korean. And I'm like, I love it when creators fucking do that. When they have like here's this one version, but my friend made his own version and it's a fucking sick remix. I'm gonna put it in here.
Apparently, it was just because the Ishiwataris had a friend who was in a band, and he wanted to promote this band because he really liked it. So he was like, "Hey, guy from this band, how would you feel like to make the soundtrack for my video game while I also make the soundtrack for this video game?" And you're just gonna play in Korea because that's where you are. And he's like, sure. And then we got a fucking like one of the greatest songs in fucking Guilty Gear history was made by someone else than Daisuke.
It's one of those things where just this game oozes with fucking passion. It's like dripping all over their fucking bodies. It just makes it so fucking great. I think like the example I gave, or like the only other time we've seen this was like a Philistine in No More Heroes.
Oh.
Where there's like an English and Japanese.
I actually think that the European version is the same as the Japanese version. Is the Japanese version the one that's a lot more EDM-ish, like more like synth? Yeah. Okay, so that's the one that we also got in Europe.
Yeah, like the American ones, like with like the hard rock chords and shit, and I'm like, but it all fucking. I love it when shit like that happens. Like, hey, here's a good version of the song, and here's another good version of the song. Go fucking nuts!
Yeah, like fucking treat yourself.
Treat yourself, bitch. Basically, what we're saying is, if you're making a video game and you already have a killer soundtrack, but you also have a friend who also makes good music, get them on your project ASAP to just make, not even cover, make their own fucking version. And just have them both be in at the same time. You don't compete. You just elevate everybody at the end of the day.
I have, just to go a little behind the scenes, when we're making these podcasts, I have to decide what song that is going to play at the end of the episode. And I have put one here, and it is the theme of Zinogre from Monster Hunter Rise. And that is also just where they took this classic song for Zinogre, and then they just like took 6 different elements, because like Zinogre's been there for a while now in different iterations, and there's been all these different tracks that has accompanied him, but with all like the same kind of structure. So in Rise, they just took all of these and then put it together and then gave it some more like Asian feel to it, and it is what a Last Boss soundtrack should sound like.
I can't wait to listen to the end of this podcast, as you all should, because the songs he picks are fucking great.
Thank you. I have legit had moments where I'm like, do I want to use this one? Nah, it's not good enough. Like I'm taking pride in the fact that so many people are enjoying the podcast tracks.
Oh, good times.
Good times.
Let's see. What did we learn from this conversation? Go play Strive and go play Ultimax and go listen to their fucking music. It's a banger.
So real quick aside, speaking of Ultimax, I have it up here on my other monitor, and I can pre-order Persona 4, and I can then pre-order the Midnight Channel Collection Deluxe Edition for 38.48 euros. But I can also pre-order the Midnight Channel Collection for 34.98. That does not seem to be any difference in the content you get. One is just more expensive.
Okay.
So yeah.
So fix your shit. Fix your shit, Atlas.
No. I'm still dumbfounded that there's no rollback at launch. Like,
I know. I saw like a video a long time ago saying like Japan is really like fighting against fighting against it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I don't get it either. It's either like it has to be like some sort of pride thing where it's like they feel like their shit's neither robust enough, or like because things are done a certain way, they have to be done a certain way. But I don't know. The moment you add it, you gotta say so. I'm eager for that. Oh yeah,
we will let you know. I will fight Cloudy on stream.
We'll fucking play a match during the podcast. Fuck it.
Yeah,
it'll just be fucking like joystick ASMR.
Dude, remember when the Super Best Friends did the Saturday morning? Friday night fisticuffs.
Friday fisticuffs, yeah.
I can listen to those episodes for a full month if I have to. Just the clicking and the tapping of the fight sticks and the stick moving around and the buttons being pushed down. That is legit ASMR for me. I live for that sound.
Cloudy and Riser, Wednesday night, Walt.
Wrestling.
Fuck it. Yeah. We'll make it a segment on the podcast. I don't give a shit.
We'll have to look into that.
We'll have to look into that. I need to get my fucking. I need to like drive to my mom's house and get the fight stick though. By the way, like I wasn't kidding. Like my uncle came over during like the week because apparently he's doing his taxes, and like hey, I don't have my keys, so he just borrowed my house keys. Like, okay, here you go. And it's like, wait, he left. He didn't tell me when he was leaving. He said he was going to, but he left. And I'm like, I hope he comes back. Those are my fucking keys.
That fucking reminds me of one of the most like two things that I'm dumbfounded about in America. Mm-hmm. One, the whole thing of I hope he comes back, he got my keys. The fact that when you're at a restaurant in America and you just fucking like, and when you have to pay for your food, you just give the waiter your fucking credit card. And they leave to tally it up, and you can just sit there and fucking hope they come back.
I mean, they gotta kick you out of the table to put it in for the next person.
Well, what if I, as an underpaid waiter, was like, no, fuck this, fuck him, fuck this place, I have a credit card now, and then you just fucking peace out and do crime.
I mean, you could, but you'll get caught immediately.
You would?
Yeah, like you can get rung up for like some things, and like they'll know. It's weird. Here's how weirdly Big Brother Dystopia America is. They actually track down your spending habits with things using your credit card. So if suddenly you spend more than like a certain amount of money, your card just stops working.
Okay. We also have that in the marketing account for that. The other thing that I am dumbfounded about, and I know for a fact this is an American thing and not a Danish thing, is that the way that when you have to do your taxes, the government has a number, and you have to fucking do math and hope to God that you land on the same number. If you don't, you're getting ass raped. And then you can go, hey, can I hear the number I need to have? No. Fucking guess it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it helps with me because I'm pretty decent at math. Although that's another thing with like going to they do that to like make you want to go to a tax preparer. Which I am doing this year because last year I did some Robinhood bullshit, and now I got like a bunch of forms I don't know what the fuck to do with. So if it's just like a W-2, the math is pretty consistent every year anyway. So, but yeah, if you but like they say it sounds really bad. The issue comes with like that's it's only bad if you're already poor, because audits are a bad thing, but or a real thing is what I meant to say. But like, look at our last president, where he literally the majority of his career is just tax fraud. That's why Yoshi commits tax fraud is a fucking meme in America. It's so fucking common, even though like, yes, the punishment is so fucking scary. You can not only have to pay back super fines, you can also go to jail. You get a criminal record. You literally ruin your entire fucking life. But people do it all the time because they want to save a couple money off the top anyway.
So you better fucking hope that you land on that amount.
Oh yeah. You better have passed your math in school, but they didn't teach us taxes. Sucks to be you.
But I know how to analyze this Swedish painting. Oh, good for you, Jimmy.
Actually, from what I heard from Caesar, apparently there's like fucking tax classes now. Maybe that's just his school, because I know for a fact that ain't fucking standard. Every time I think of paying tax in a state, I think of the case of DSP boycott taxes and how he survived it. The reason he survived is that he is so under the poverty level, he kind of gets certain state benefits.
Did he not? Was he not so much in the shit that there was like taking legal actions against it, and then like as it was going on, he was buying fucking loot boxes on some kind of wrestling game on his phone.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to say the welfare system isn't like highly exploitable, because it is. I still rather have it, because I'm gonna tell you, we already don't have healthcare, and that's fucking hell. So if a fucking scumbag like DSP gets to fucking siphon off it, fine. That just means when I'm at rock bottom, I can like live. It's weird how this shit works, bro. America's this weird like dystopian 1984 bullshit. But then you look at Russia, where that is actually like 1984.
I'm a little like surprised, like speaking the whole thing about math in America, because in America when you go and you buy whatever the fuck, and it says like, oh, this thing costs $20, and then you take it to the register and they tally you up, and then they go, there'll be $22 or something because you have the whole sales tax or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I am fucking dumbfounded by that. Like the fact that you that as you're looking at a thing, you have to do the math in your head. Like, okay, what will I be paying here? Because in Denmark is like, is that $20? Fine, I'll pay $20.
Yeah, the reason I imagine they do that is because sales tax is based by state. It's not a federal thing. So the company buys the jars for like, let's say like $5 each, and like they paid $5, so they do the math, and that like one jar is going to be worth like $5 just to put it on the shelf. But when you're taking it off the shelf and bringing it to the register, if you're in like Massachusetts, I think it's like sales tax is like either 12 or 15 or something ludicrous. So it's like $5 plus 15 sales tax. But then you go to like Rhode Island, you buy the same thing, and it's like 25 sales tax. And then you're out somewhere in the Midwest, the sales tax is like 5. Or there's some places that don't have it. It's literally a fucking gamble. Or you have to remember 50 fucking states. Yeah, but at the time, you just kind of learn to just whatever.
Yeah, but then fucking put, like, when I'm in the shop and it has the price on the fucking label, give me the fucking price I have to pay. Why do I have to do math? Fuck. Like, I remember when I was in Vegas, and I think I had to buy like some candy or something for my ex, and it was like, I guess this will be 10, 12. Okay, fine. Like, why not just say 12? I don't get it.
The reason is because it's a conditioning method. Okay. We're gonna get into cloudy conspiracy theory right now.
Oh, fucking boy.
So, I think like the UK has like done a formal thing where they like completely converted to like plastic, but they don't they don't want to do that in America because, you know, freedoms and shit, whatever people like to parrot at each other. But the thing with that is like it's advantageous for people to just use a credit card and not think about how much you're doing because it's easier for you to spend money. So if a price doesn't mean fucking anything, then you putting away that money doesn't mean anything to you either. It's conditioning somebody to be more open about just spending tons and tons and tons of money and not think about it. The reason why debt is such a big fucking industry here is because everybody goes into debt because nobody knows how to handle money. The reason no one knows about taxes, don't know the value of $1, is because it's advantageous for the company to get people to spend more money. It's so easy to like lose $1 billion, and that doesn't have to do with anything with like gambling or shit. It's just normal everyday things. That's why fees are fucking hidden under wraps. I can't just buy a car. I can't just like rent a car for a week for like $500 or like $300 when it says. There's still like fucking handling fees. There's time fees. There's condition fees. You have to pay a fee for how much gas is in the tank when you return it. Isn't like how $9.99 sounds way cheaper than $10? That's partially it, but also because that also has to do with taxes and how much you get taxed on it. Yeah, nothing is $10. It's always $9.99.
Oh well, that's the same thing over here. Sorry, I'm just like I have to like rewind a little bit. You have to pay when you return a car and there's gas in it.
If there's not enough gas in it.
If there's not an fuck it.
I visited a friend in Arizona a couple of months ago, and I rented we went halfsies. She paid for the hotel, I paid for the car, and I was the driver. And on the day, by the way, this was also during the time when my air flight got fucking canceled, and I was like kind of stranded and fucked and shit.
Oh yeah.
But I still had to return the car. So I go over to them and I'm like explaining, hey, here's my car. And they look at the gas tank. It's like, can you go out and fill up the gas for me? Because that's an extra $60 if you don't fill the gas up to 3/4. And I was like, it was like a half full tank of gas. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Because I've already had issues with my credit card there. I didn't want to pay for gas. I just took it. But that's kind of like how it is. I decide because like I was in a situation where I'm like, I do not want to deal with handling this. I don't want to deal with fucking like having to find a gas station. I never put gas in a car before. I barely drove to begin with. And I'm like, they make things so fucking arduous. So it's easier for you to just say, fine, take my money. This is how things are. I don't give a shit. I just want to go home. And that's literally how they get you. It's just, they just keep doing all and all and all, just so it's easier for you to say, fine, take my money. I just want to go home.
I wanna like parrot what Alistair is saying in the chat. I like how America gives us shit for being taxed as much as we are, but at the end of the day, you pay the same as we do. The tax is just hidden everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been saying to like all the time whenever I talk about, I want to move out of this country. Like, oh, you don't want to go there. They tax you for fucking everything. And I'm like, bitch, they do it here too. At least they have the decency to tell you how much it costs. Like when I went to visit my friend in the UK, I was fucking floored when I found out you can buy anything that wasn't like a candy for like less than $1. I bought a whole packet of fucking chocolate biscuits for 50p. It would cost $5 for that much in America. It's so stupid, man. I flat out will say I don't like it here. We probably have some things better, I guess.
Your restaurants are cheaper.
Yeah, because normal food is more expensive. It is cheaper to go to restaurants every day than it is to buy your own food.
Yup.
Pretty sure I mentioned this.
Yep, you did. We had a talk at a previous episode.
Yeah, America is a dystopia. Nothing you say will ever change my mind. No, it is. Like, don't get me wrong, because like we're still a first world country. We're still pretty up there, and we're still pretty affluent. We're not fucking Brazil, because it sucks to be in Brazil. God, it sucks to be in Russia right now. Fucking with the ruble getting rug pulled and all.
You know where I think it is even worse?
Ukraine.
You fucking Ukraine?
Yeah, because they're dying because of bombs and shit. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like economics go, like, yeah, it fucking sucks. Like, I'll totally acknowledge there's some really cool things in America. There's some things you can't get anywhere else, and there's probably is better than other places. But this shit definitely ain't perfect!
Land of the free and home of the brave.
If you have money, and the brave poor people go to war because you don't have to, because you have enough money not to go. You know what? I'm just like I'm glad like Trump's not president because I could just start talking about it and not stay quiet. There was there's this song called "Fortunate Son," which is all about fucking going to war because you're too poor to not go. And like that was like the entirety of Trump's campaign. That would play every time he would go on stage that he's not a fortunate son. And I'm like, bitch, you never had to step foot out of the country except to go on a yacht. You are the most fortunate son in this country. Who you think you are? But people will eat it up. People thought he was a fucking businessman despite having like but despite like bankrupting every business he's been behind, but that counts as good business in America because he's rich at the end of the day. Man, yeah, no, it's a fucking dystopia. It's a fucking dystopia over here, bro. Come to visit. Don't fucking stay. Although it's like that, like all over the North America. We just like to think. We like to pretend we're better than we actually are. That's what it is in America.
Well, I still want to go to Texas and get a burger one day, but that's about it.
I mean, that's cool. They got fucking good ass burgers there. That's the land of the cows, Longhorns, if you will.
I remember when I was interviewing Luke McKay, and he was like, "Dude, you need to fucking come to Texas. We got the best fucking food." I'm like, "I want to go to Texas. I really want to go to Texas." But in case someone wants to tell us about how much they want to go to Texas, where can they write an email to let us know about that?
Oh, well, that's easy, Lassa. You can go tell us about your adventures wanting to go to Texas at webcastrelief@gmail.com. So, if you want to talk to us about how America is a dystopia and how you can have like healthcare and tax that tells you up front and basically make me cry on the inside, where can they send that email to make me suffer?
They can make you cry and suffer by sending an email to webcastrelief@gmail.com.
We got a lot of we have a lot old ones from Caesar, so a lot of these are pretty quick. So I'm gonna pick up an old one that he wrote.
Sure.
Dear Cloudy and oh wait, no, this is for a guest. Never mind. I can't use that one. This one is for when a guest comes on.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what the numbers mean, but he says, do you think there's a point where subculture / fandom / movements can get so toxic to the point it's not worth saving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have to elaborate a little bit. I think that we need to, like, before we get into this topic, there needs to be the caveat that we are well aware that this is like that if you are a fan of this thing, we are not necessarily saying this involves you. And you are more than allowed to enjoy this thing. Be my guest, I do not care. But the Steven Universe fandom. I will never, ever get over how fucking toxic these cunts were.
They tried to get people to commit suicide over fan art.
They tried to fucking kill them.
Like, I do not care how much you love this show. You don't do that. I heard some like horror stories about like Owl House too. That they were trying to get to that. Anything that has to do with cutesy, wootsy, bubbly fucking shows, but like that always ends up with like the weirdest toxic individuals.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I mean, like, what was it? They tried to fucking feed a fan artist a cookie or something with a needle in it.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's fucked.
That's sociopathic. Like, what the fuck?
I swear, that's some shit I saw in Higurashi.
Yeah.
That's some that's like, wow, there's something actually wrong with you. Go seek help or go to jail. Either's fine with me. I'd rather you go than the person you're trying to kill. Thank you.
Yeah, because funnily enough, you are the person that we can do without. And it was, I think I remember now. The reason why all of this happened was because they drew Rose. Yeah. Not even skinny, but skinnier than she is.
And I'm like, it was awful. Because not everyone makes a statement. Sometimes they just want to draw a thing. Sometimes people have issues with how they draw body proportions. They're not trying to erase the fatness or whatever. Just fucking let it be. Literally, I've seen people who draw degenerate pornography be more civil than the shit I've seen out of the Steven Universe fandom.
Yeah. So, go on.
So yeah, definitely. There are some fandoms that are too toxic to be saved.
I was never interested in the fandom, most of all because I didn't like the show that much. But yeah. I would I don't think I would have dropped it nearly as hard if not for the fandom.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I wanted to like it because they did some things that were like new for the time, and I thought they thought they were gonna go some places, but no, they just aside from the show bungling it up, the fandom just killed it horrifically. Yeah. Killed it harder than the people they were trying to. I'm not gonna let that go.
No, and neither should you. But
yeah.
At least Steven Universe was as hype as Gurren Lagann.
You're definitely not gonna let that go.
I'm never gonna let that go, Scott. I'm never gonna let that go, Scott. There was some dumb shit you said back then, Scott.
I wasn't ever going to make that comparison because that is not a smart comparison to make.
So I can tell that there's some confused people in the chat. So I'm just gonna fucking put it out there. So my friend Scott, I'm gonna keep it at Scott, just because I don't know if he wants to be put on blast for this shit, but I don't give a fuck right now. So Scott was trying to suggest me to get into a Steven Universe. And I was like, I don't really know. Doesn't really look like my kind of shit. And Scott, in all of his fucking glory, decided to go, but I think you would really like it. Because it is just as hype, if not more hype, than Gurren Lagann.
Even I was like, I wouldn't go that far, but he said it.
I don't think there was a single time in Steven. And again, I didn't watch a lot, so that's fair. I will put
like
that little
you
asterisk.
You quit before quote unquote it got good, and to be fair, that's fair because it has a worse filler problem than Naruto, if you can believe that.
Yeah, and at no point during this did I get any sort of goosebumps. Whereas Gurren Lagann can fucking bring me to tears out of sheer endorphins. My favorite thing that has come out about Gurren Lagann is that people have actually made studies that watching a season, watching Gurren Lagann from start to finish, will give you the same effect as antidepressants.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's just, hey, you want to feel happy? You want to know what good feels like? You want to have fucking endorphins in your bloodstream? You watch that. You want to like yell at a screen, not because of anger, but because of sheer hype magnitude? You watch Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
But like, fucking, even when I thought Steven Universe was going places, I never thought it was gonna be that good. That's two different ballparks.
Like, imagine watching, Sword Art Online, Black Swordsman. Yeah, I would say it's probably up there with Berserk. Like, fucking find me one dumb idiot who would say that, and I would choke the fucking life out of them. Like, I'm gonna take this subpar weird, like, fucking teenage bullshit fan fest of wish fulfillment and 6 years of cum glubbing out or whatever the fuck it was, and I'm gonna and I'm gonna compare it to arguably one of the greatest pieces of fiction ever written. Like, have you ever liked a character with a big sword? You can go and you can kiss Miura's grave, because that's thanks to this motherfucker.
Literally everything you like is because of this man, and
I
see it. I'm not just talking to you, Lux. I'm talking to like everybody listening. Everything you like is because of Miura. I keep because of Hajime no Ippo, I keep wanting to say Miata.
Yeah, we have talked about that.
It keeps happening, but no, like I'm gonna keep talking about this because I wanted to stop hating Sword Art Online, but then I keep finding reasons why I hate it. And there's a point in the story where he can save everybody. He can end Sword Art Online. He can end the suffering, the death, all this bad shit that's happening. He's at the terminal. He hacks into the terminal and he converts a person who died before their atoms disperse into a magic item so we can revive them later. And he can do that by messing with the source code. But he didn't turn back on the option to leave the game.
No, but that's too hot though.
He did not turn on. He didn't do like set status to option on. That pisses me off.
What is it? Turn quit game option true or whatever, like a code that would be.
It is literally just a simplest thing from changing false to true, yes to no, 1 to 2, 1 to 0. It's so bad.
Okay, we're kind of going on a tangent here, but I actually really need to ask this because I've been meaning to ask, but I keep forgetting it. Cloudy, have you ever watched Megalobox?
It has been on my list forever, and I haven't seen it yet. I've seen clips, and I've seen the punches, and good.
Okay, you need to watch Megalobox, and then you need to watch Nomad, which is like the sequel. And I want you to watch Nomad because both Megalobox is slightly, but Nomad is incredibly inspired by Hispanic culture.
Okie dokie, you sold me.
To the point where every it is so in Megalobox the end stinger is always Not Dead Yet, which is a fucking cool stinger. But in Nomad, it is different Spanish phrases. And like the Spanish guitars and everything. It is like, I think you would love everything about that show.
Right now I'm watching Dororo on Amazon Prime because for some reason I got like a trial for it. So once I finish that, I'm gonna start Megalobox.
Please do.
Hopefully I'm gonna see what like stations it's on. But yeah, no, when I do, I'll let you fucking know, and we can gush about it.
I know that I am actually, again, and this is not even intentional, putting a boxing anime as your homework. But Hajime no Ippo did not lead you astray. I hope this does neither.
Okay. I will say, past the anime, I am starting to have little bit of problems with Hajime no Ippo. But I think that's just. But I'll bring that up when I'm like 100% caught up, because I'm in this situation where, like, now that I finished the anime recently, and we're gonna talk about this on the podcast. But like the manga is doing some things I'm not a fan of, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I wanted two things out of you watching Hajime no Ippo. I wanted you to experience the Dempsey role, and okay, three things: the Dempsey role, Takamura fighting Hawk, and Tekken.
And I've experienced all those three things, and they're fucking good.
And if you decided to drop Hajime no Ippo now, I would be perfectly content, because I have gotten out of it what I needed, which was to pass the torch on to someone who I know will suggest other people to experience Tekken.
I'm saying this as like the highest endorsement I can give. If you like to see just the most creative and powerful and heart-wrenching emotional punches you've ever seen in anime, watch Hajime no Ippo, because they do it right.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, on my list, finishing Dororo, I am going to catch up to Hajime no Ippo. I'm going to be watching Megalobox and Nomad. I'm probably going to forget about Nomad, so I'm going to write that down right now.
I actually think, don't quote me on this, but I actually think that the musical composer for Megalobox is the same person who made the music for Samurai Champloo.
Oh, God.
Nanba?
You just activate... I thought it was Ninja Best. I don't know. Oh. But, like... you just... that just like unleashed a wave of endorphins in my brain.
Samurai Champloo is so fucking, like, I can't describe what that show is about, but you just have to experience it.
That is, honestly, I like, aside from maybe Ping Pong, Samurai Champloo is like my favorite anime. Just because like the time when I experienced it, the time I saw it, I rewatched it recently. I don't give a shit about like this main story. That's not the fucking point. It's just feels so fucking good.
Okay. I just had a fucking big brain moment. And I fucking hope that I'm gonna stun you all with my big brain here. You know what Samurai Champloo is? It is Samurai Cowboy Bebop.
Yes. Literally, yes.
Literally, yes. That is what it is.
Literally, the only difference is like the setting and the music genre. Because instead of like space and jazz, it's samurais and hip hop.
Yeah,
and it works.
And both Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop, they start with a setting up story that introduces the characters and forces them to be together, and it ends with them reaching the goal, that reaching a climax, and everything in between that feels like villain of the week kind of things. but where they explore different tones and different themes and all this shit. And it's just like an introduction to the world where the characters then get to do cool shit, including a protagonist with a big afro.
Yes. Also, the choreography is fucking to die for.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like, between the way Jean fights and the way Mugen fights, it's night and day, and it's beautiful for both. You want your strict samurai code? You want a guy doing like fucking flares on the ground on his sword, kicking you with his clogs? You got both. I love the detail, like in at the bottom of Mugen's clogs, there's like a metal sheet planted into it specifically so he can catch swords with it.
Oh, perfect.
Everything about the show is great.
So yeah, audience, Samurai Champloo and Megalobox is your homework for next episode.
That was like one question that we trailed off really fast, so I'm gonna choose a fuck, marry, kill because they're quick.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind. Okay, fuck it. Fuck, marry, kill Luffy from One Piece, Iris from Latex Blue, or Puro from Changed. And in parentheses it says weird cat latex fox cat thingy. You've definitely seen it before, you just don't know its name. It's a black latex thing with the whole face mask on every furry Steam's profile. So I don't know who the fuck Puro is.
Me neither.
So, Caesar letting out his furry discoveries again.
Okay.
So, Iris from Latex Blue. Isn't that the awful?
That is the awful.
Yeah, so kill that.
Yeah. Fuck whatever Puro is, and then and marry Luffy, because Luffy will never let you down.
Honestly, yeah. That is the correct answer. Because I imagine Puro is probably like what the furbait fuck is. So, probably that's what his intention was to be. Luffy is like you've seen Enos Lobby.
Yeah.
He will go to war for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That man will not let you down.
Find your husband who will declare war on the world for you.
Like, find a guy who will beat the shit out of the Secret Service just because they made you sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't fuck with Luffy. He's a good boy. Oh, God. Like, I know... I'm never going to expect you to catch up to One Piece. But I want to talk about this because Luffy got brought up. We just had the latest chapter come out. And we just had a reveal. And it's simultaneously... Here's why I love One Piece. We just had a reveal that means nothing to you unless you started the time skip. It is incredibly telling that it's finally been said. And we don't know what the fuck the reveal means yet explicitly.
Oh, that is indeed One Piece.
It is peak One Piece, and I love it. Like, I am hype! I love what these implications are bringing, and you'll never tell me to my face what the fuck is going on. I still love it.
It is like, I am hype. I am excited to see what it is. I am also very confused.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't even know if it's worth saying, but like, it's plain to see Luffy is pretty close to dying, like 90% of the story. Like, we have panels all the time where we think he's down and he comes back up. He even makes reference to this. Like, there's a line in Thriller Bark where he says, like, no matter how many times you knock me down, rubber always bounces back. And it really fits so goddamn well. But, like, we're at a point where it's like, oh, is he actually dead this time? And everyone actually believes it for once?
That is interesting.
The reveal is so fucking weird. Because, again, it makes no sense unless you've started the time skip what this reveal actually implies. But it might be he's actually dead for good. Not for good. Nobody believes he's dead for good, but we think he's actually dead for a bit. So we're gonna find out in 2 weeks when the chapter comes back.
Talking about One Piece, this makes me go, you know what? I should fucking fire up my Crunchyroll subscription again or something. Because that way I can just have that shit on, and when the episode ends, it will continue to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, finding it on other sources, it's always just like, now it's done, now it's finished. Time to eject myself from whatever I'm doing, go over here to click the next thing, skip the intro song, because, you know, while they're fine, I haven't seen a banger yet, and then I'm gonna start it, and then I'm gonna return to my thing, and that's every time an episode ends, every 20 minutes, and like, I just want it to roll.
Oh yeah. Though that is a thing I want to mention with One Piece, because like I am doing like a quick look through. God, One Piece, especially after the time skip starts, the anime gets really fucking bad. Like, yeah, you mentioned. I warn you. I warn this all the time, but like I never realized how bad until I actually started watching it again, because this weekly bullshit that they've been going on with sucks really goddamn hard, because there's like a mandate at Shueisha where like anime has to be put out, like it's being made. The anime is actually being at a point where it's like the week ahead. They're just a week ahead of schedule. The anime is being produced the next week, and it's fucking nuts. But that also like slows things down to a painful fucking crawl, which sucks. Because like they don't want to do the Naruto thing where they have filler arcs in between big arcs. They don't want to do the Bleach thing where you're in the middle, you're about to fight Aizen, and then suddenly we have to cut everything and have another filler arc in the living world with some random bullshit. So what they do is like they just hold on frames like it's fucking Speed Racer, and that's your episode for 30 minutes. It's pain. Perfect. It's really goddamn pain. So when you get to that point, I'll find a way. Like there's a thing called like I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's like it is like One Piece Kai, where they've actually went ahead and edited all these episodes into more manageable chunks.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'll give it to you after you finish once you get to the time skip. They are torrents, so I'll figure out a way to get you like the main videos. But when that is
like the horse from Elden Ring, and not the illegal thing that you shouldn't be bringing on a public podcast?
Yeah. Like it's like the horse. You have to get the horse from Elden Ring.
Yeah, the cow
to run these things. Yeah, the horse cow to run these episodes. Yeah. But when I get that figured out, they do have like the entire episodes condensed. I heard like the first couple ones are a little choppy just because like they were inexperienced back in the day, but it gets better later on. So when I get all that figured out, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because like it's obviously gonna be some time before I catch up, and in the meantime, I won't be able to read it as a manga, because right now, and I think this will be a good thing to end it off on. I am currently going through Berserk again. And that is because, as I've mentioned on my Twitter, after everything that's been going on, I kind of feel like I kind of need to rejuvenate the juices a little bit. So I've been thinking of making a show and tell of Berserk. I'm trying to be careful with saying that, because I've also been doing that with like, I want to do a show and tell of fucking Last of Us, and show and tell of Devil May Cry, and yada yada yada. But right now, it's in the cast that I want to do one about Berserk. But what's interesting about that is that I don't have when I did it with Spider-Man and Metal Gear and Persona, it's always about like, the subtext and like what is the core theme, And I can do that with Berserk, but I feel like there's much more to talk about. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, because like we like mentioned this, like the best thing you could do for Berserk is just like pin down why it's so fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, and like there's so many angles you can take it, from like the art to the settings to like the execution of it all,
to the influence, to the controversial, like gritty stuff going on and shit. Like there's a lot of stuff to tackle, and I think it would be interesting to actually just like do a video where you kind of just go explore Berserk, not as a, you know, like, oh, what does it mean kind of thing, but more including that, and also just make it more, what is Berserk as a medium?
It's, well, amazing. That's really the best way I can say it. But you can say it in way better words when it's out there. When it is, who knows? But I hope it comes out. I hope when it comes out, it's gonna blow us all away.
But yeah, it's gonna be a big job. Gurren Lagann was like 25 episodes. Spider-Verse was like a 90-minute movie. Last of Us is a video game. I did do one or multiple of Persona 4, and that is a long video game franchise.
Yeah.
So like, if I can do that, I feel like I can do it with Berserk. I will try and not include the anime though, like footage of it, because like, have you seen a show and tell of Gurren Lagann? No? Well, there's your fucking reason. Cause it exists, but you're not allowed to see it thanks to YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube. See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody!